The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.
Monday morning, welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. You just heard about Exist Stretch, and more of you have been going in. Thank you. I hope you took advantage of that 3 for $99 special because it ended yesterday. And sure, they might run some specials again in the very near future. When they do, we'll, of course, let you know. If you haven't been in yet, let me tell you what you've been missing. I've gone in. My friends have gone in. Many of you have gone in. And what I've been hearing are these comments. Oh, my gosh, my neck doesn't feel as bad as it did. Oh, my gosh, I can sit at my desk upright. I feel like I am longer and taller. Yes, all of those things, literally from head to toe. And if you've got some aches and pains, or maybe you were in an accident, or maybe like Jim experienced, this was eye-opening. I've always known that he's had one leg longer than the other, but I did not realize just how far off it was. Look at the difference here in his feet. But by the end of the stretch, it was back even. So you imagine what that does for your hips and your knees and your neck, etc., your entire body out of alignment. So that is why we stress professional stretching. FST therapy certified. They're incredible. I've been in to Trisha and I've been in to Tim. Now I get to experience Claire and Justin. 2 locations, by the way. One's in Arnold inside of Exist Fitness, and the other is in the St. Louis Hills area on Hampton. ExistStretch.com @ExistStretch, and we thank them for being a part of the Real Monica Adams Show. The list of sponsors just keeps growing, and we look forward to more coming on in July and August as well. Well, I'm your host, Monica Adams, and I'm thrilled to have you along with us. We're going to do weather. We have news you can use. And then today, it's healthy moms and healthy babies on this Medical Monday. We're excited to introduce you to Dr. Kathy Bligard, Susie Voss, the executive director from the March of Dimes. Dr. Kathy Bligard, by the way, is with Washington University School of Medicine. And then Christina Shockley also will be joining us today. She's the mother of 2, count them 2, sets of twins. Holy cow. We're going to talk about how the March of Dimes has helped her. So let's get to it. We're going to kick things off with the weather. And we do a segment that we call What the Weather.
Good evening and welcome into this new More Weather Forecast video. My name is Beck Moore.
And our segment brought to you by our friends over at Fenton Family Dentistry. And I love the fact that Beckett has now had a chance to get in and experience the incredible care that Dr. Jessica and her team provide to the community. Fenton Family Dentistry not only has one of the best dentists in our area, but the entire staff is unbelievably friendly. One of the things that Beckett's mom told me was not only are they friendly, but the whole place just feels so welcoming and clean. And of course, as you walk out of there, then you're like, oh, my teeth feel good. Not only do they have human beings, they also have Augie there. Augie will help you if you have a little fear. Wonderful therapy dog and just an absolute sweetheart. So he's hard at work for you as well. Where are they located? Of course, in Fenton. Fenton Family Dentistry is at 552 Old Smizer Mill Road, and you can check them out on social media at Fenton Family Dentistry. Well, let's say hello to our friend Beckett Moore. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. Where are you today?
We're here in Memphis. We came here for the weekend to spend the Father's Day weekend here, and it's been really nice. Yesterday we got to go to lunch out with my dad and watch a movie. It's been a great weekend.
You said thanks, Dad, for being a good dad, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, wonderful. Well, I'm glad you had safe travels. How long are you there?
We leave this morning.
Okay, well, safe travels back. Hopefully the weather will be good. You'll know that. We did have some storms yesterday. In fact, one of our top stories is about Jefferson County, Illinois, and we'll tell you what happened there. But as we get past the storms we had yesterday, what are we expecting this week, Beckett?
Yeah, so this week we're likely going to be seeing some rain, especially as we head towards the latter half of the week. Looking at the graphics here right now. Wednesdays when we get
And when does summer officially begin?
Here in a couple of days.
Oh, okay. But it's felt like it already for sure.
I
Okay,
know,
so you're
yeah.
heading back to town, and then you'll be in town until when do you go on your vacation?
I'm going the week from today.
Oh, very good. All right, he's going to be go look at colleges one more year and then off to college. Well, Beckett, thank you. And again, I hope you had a wonderful past Father's Day and safe travels back. And then we'll talk to you. Actually, I'm heading out to Vegas on Friday. We might have you on Thursday.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, we'll be in touch. Thanks so much, Beckett. Again, that's Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist. No matter where he is in the country, he always comes to you to deliver the weather. So thank him for all the hard work that he does. I mentioned that the weather is the top story today, and this is unfortunate. 2 people dead, 5 injured in Jefferson County. This is in Illinois due to a reported tornado. According to the sheriff, 1 person died about 5 miles east of Dix, Illinois. A second victim later died from their injuries. It happened near North July Road in rural Mount Vernon. The sheriff said the 2 victims were killed when the storm hit 2 single-wide trailer homes. Their identities not being released. They also confirmed 5 others were taken to area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. A total of 3 residences were reportedly destroyed by the storm. Many other homes have varying degrees of damage. They also suspected a tornado caused a home in Texas to collapse. Emergency crews were sent to the northeastern part of Jefferson County, Illinois, shortly after 5 p.m. to multiple reports of damaged homes, downed trees, power lines, missing people due to a reported tornado that had touched down. And again, many viewers reported seeing a tornado around the Dix and the Texaco communities. The sheriff saying that most of the power had been restored. At least 3 roads were blocked, though, by a large number of downed trees. So please send thoughts and prayers out to all in that area. If you know anyone that lives in Jefferson County, Illinois, near that rural part of Mount Vernon, please reach out to them just to ensure their safety. Okay, this was an unbelievable close call. Folks, we're talking about just 300 feet apart in Boston, a close call that forced the Delta flight to abort their landing. A Delta Airlines jet roughly 300 feet from the American Airlines plane during that close call that forced the Delta aircraft to abort the weekend landing attempt. The FAA said it was investigating the incident between the 2 commercial flights. It happened Saturday at Boston Logan. A former safety engineer at Boeing estimated the distance between the 2 jetliners using Flight Trader 24, a website that tracks the flights. And they said, again, this is a significant incident. The officials there have been concerned about such runway incursions for a while now. They will scrutinize the close call. Near misses and runway incursions at U.S. airports will be the subject of a hearing on Capitol Hill this coming Tuesday. Way too close. Can you believe we've been talking about Tesla cars and whether or not you trust them? We have this and one of those Waymos in the news today. Look at this. A lifeguard had to rescue a man. He drove his Tesla into a pool. The man was not having problems swimming, but instead he had to be rescued from his car after driving it into the pool. Now, the lifeguard said, at this pool, we don't get a lot of emergencies. He thought he was walking into just another day on the job, and that is not at all what happened to him. They actually had officers break a window, open the door, remove the driver safely on a backboard. The pool was closed at the time, which is good. The driver wasn't injured, but taken to the hospital where he was evaluated. The pool, of course, had to close down for the town. But what the heck? How does this happen when Tesla is supposed to have these cars that are supposed to stay on the road, not go into the water? But can you imagine being a lifeguard? First of all, I think that's one of the coolest jobs. I wanted to be a lifeguard when I was younger. What about all of you? But you don't expect a car to be in the pool and having to take one of those backboards and go in at that point. Then Waymo, that's in the news today as well. They're recalling thousands of their vehicles because of problems. These robo-taxis, self-driving software not able to recognize construction zones and ramp closures. Officials said there were several instances in San Francisco and Phoenix where the robo-taxis drove into zones that were closed. Obviously, that poses a potential crash hazard. They say that the recalled vehicles had a technological glitch. A spokesperson for Waymo said the company, quote, identified an area of improvement regarding performance around freeway construction zones. And I'm still going to stay with my comment that I am not going into a Waymo anytime soon. Well, congratulations to M&M's. I love the fact that from a nutrition standpoint, more and more more and more companies are taking those artificial dyes out of their food. And now it's M&M's, the latest to launch their candies without these dyes. The Wall Street Journal confirming M&M's will debut the candies made without those dyes starting in August. Blue and brown candies won't be included. However, as those two colors require artificial dyes to be produced at a reasonable cost. But you will see the other changes. Mars is one of 27 companies pledging to remove at least some artificial colors or additives as part of this new initiative. The new M&Ms will be sold through the online retailer Amazon. All right, if you are a soap opera fan, you probably recognize this gentleman. All My Children alum Paul Avery and his wife Sheila died in a New Jersey house fire. Paul and his wife, the couple found unconscious inside their home. They died after firefighters rescued them and performed CPR. Avery was best known for playing Huey, the bartender at Foxy's on All My Children, and later served as executive editor of the Ridgeview Echo newspaper. But also, I saw back in the 70s, he also was part of Superman. So rest in peace to he and his wife. All right, in sports news, if you're a fan of golfing, we went to breakfast yesterday and this was on. Wyndham Clark avoiding a record collapse and held on to win the U.S. Open. Congratulations to him. The Cardinals, with another score that I swear looks like a football score. The Cards beat the Royals 12-10. Now they're back home. The Diamondbacks will be playing St. Louis at Busch Stadium. First pitch will be at 6:45. And then our National Day of Calendar. All right, get your loved ones. It is National Kissing Day, National Onion Rings Day, maybe kiss before you have the onion rings, National HVAC Tech Day. Let's thank all of those that help out our heating and air conditioning. And if you want to go get some breakfast this morning, you might want to grab a chocolate eclair. It is National Chocolate Eclair Day. Sounds pretty yummy, right? All right, it is 7:14, and good morning to all of you that are signing on. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And yes, Rose just said, yay for M&Ms, remove it in everything. I agree. We did not even get enough rain to get the sidewalk wet. Richard, really? Wow, it was pouring near us. We were like hydroplaning all over the highway, taking my mom back home. Good morning, Julie and Kathleen. My husband had a great Father's Day. He got a call from his son. Oh, I loved it. And they talked for over an hour. That is the best, right? Just have that communication. Hope you're having a great start. Christy, nice to see you back. Sean as well. For all of you that are signing on, welcome into the show. We are going to talk about healthy moms and healthy babies today, featuring the March of Dimes. Dr. Kathy Bligard and Susie Voss will join us first.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Healthy moms, strong babies. And we want you to know all about the March of Dimes today. You know, it's probably decades that you've been hearing about the March of Dimes, but do you even know what they are all about and how you can help? Maybe you know someone that has been helped because of the wonderful work that they do. We're going to visit with two ladies today in the beginning part of this, and then we'll have a little switcheroo, and we'll have another person join us that will be talking about their own testimony and the background about what they've been going through as well. Let me give a rundown for you first of who our beginning guests are. Let me start off, since it is a Medical Monday, with the physician that is joining us. First of all, Dr. Kathy, or Catherine Bligard, is an assistant professor in the Division of Maternal Fetal Medicine and Ultrasound at Washington University School of Medicine and associate director of the WashU Fetal Care Center, a fetal surgeon and expert in prenatal diagnosis. She specializes in the care of complex pregnancies and advanced fetal interventions, including in utero treatment for twin transfusion syndrome, spina bifida, and fetal renal failure. In fact, Dr. Bligard is deeply committed to improving outcomes for moms and fetuses through compassionate, evidence-based care, innovative fetal therapy, and advocacy for maternal and infant health. Her research focuses on fetal therapy, prenatal diagnosis, and optimizing care for families experiencing pregnancy complications, loss, or life-limiting fetal conditions. And as a physician, researcher, educator, and mother, Dr. Bligard is honored to support the mission of the March of Dimes and to be recognized as a hero for babies at the Signature Chef's Auction, which we're going to talk about, which raises critical support for healthier pregnancies and stronger futures for all families. Also joining Dr. Bligard is Susie Voss, who is the executive director for the March of Dimes in Missouri, overseeing all of Missouri and Omaha, Nebraska's operations. She's been in the nonprofit world for over 12 years, and her passion lies with March of Dimes' mission, which is to improve the health of all moms and babies. And as a fellow mom herself, she has two daughters and is expecting, which you'll see here shortly, baby number 3 very soon. When Susie isn't working, she's reading and cooking and doing whatever fun St. Louis activity has on the calendar for the weekend with her family. So welcome, ladies. Thrilled to have you along with us.
Thank you.
We are wanting to take care of those babies and take care of the moms. So Susie and I sat down just a few weeks ago talking about wanting to bring the mission to the forefront. And I think we both said together that people have heard about the March of Dimes.
Yes.
But if they could really answer what does the March of Dimes do, I don't know. I don't know if they can. They just know that it's this powerful organization that's out there. So we're going to visit about the March of Dimes mission. We'll talk about your passion, and congratulations, by the way, about what you're going to be getting this year as well. And then about the Signature Chefs series. So Susie, let's start. What is the March of Dimes?
So the March of Dimes is a major national nonprofit, and our mission is to improve the health of all moms and babies. We want to end preventable maternal death, and we want to end preventable infant death. And so within that, we have a few different very specific things that we're targeting. And a lot of what Dr. Bligard does is part of our mission. So we're so excited to honor her for being our hero for babies this year.
Absolutely. We love heroes, right? And we've got, well, first of all, you're a hero on the front lines as a physician. First of all, how long have you been a physician?
This is year 11.
Oh, congrats. And again, you know, when we think about someone saying, I'm pregnant, and we just said number 3 on the way. Congrats, by the way. When are you due?
I'm due very early July, so almost any day now.
Oh, my goodness. Don't happen during the show.
I'm here.
I was just going to say, but if need be, she can deliver.
I'm in good hands.
So we think about, the love and the excitement of someone saying, I'm pregnant. Oh, my gosh, we're going to have a baby. And all anybody ever wants is a healthy baby. But as we know, that doesn't always happen. And you work first, on the front lines of, rushing in. This might go wrong. This might go wrong. We want those healthy babies, and we want the moms as well to be healthy. We're going to be talking about preterm as well as these preemies. And then I have a friend who we were all excited when she, announced that she was having her baby. And then, they don't say it's exactly SIDS, but it's something that had happened just a couple of months after. And it's just devastating. And then I know a lot of women that are going to tell me that, they've had miscarriages. It's all, how do we help them along? So what is your greatest passion about being involved with the March of Dimes and what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think that, my greatest passion in the world of maternal fetal medicine, which is what I practice, is making sure that we're prepared for babies with extra needs when they're born. So I specialize in ultrasound diagnosis, looking at that 20-week ultrasound for any differences that we're not expecting, problems with the heart, problems with the lungs, problems with the kidneys, so that then there are some times where we can treat things in utero, and there are some times where we just really need to be prepared for this baby when they're born, because they're going to need something different than other babies. And that kind of goes along with the March of Dimes mission of preventing infant death. So if we're prepared, we can help kind of optimize those outcomes for those babies.
Well, and I think the preparation and having that word alone, being prepared, there's a lot of women that are scratching their heads. And I think sometimes there's a fear or there's shame involved of, did I do something wrong? Well, I'm sure you counsel on that.
Yeah, I see patients every day with unexpected fetal differences and fetal anomalies. And what I tell every single patient who's sitting in my office is, I know you have that kind of internal just sense. No one wants to say it out loud. Did I cause this? Yeah. But you didn't. These are things that just happen, and it feels very isolating because you see everyone having these, normal pregnancies all over social media, and people don't talk about the pregnancy losses, the fetal anomalies, because it's not
glamorous.
It's not glamorous,
right?
But there are many women going through that, and it's my passion to help those women and those families learn about these diagnoses, know everything that they can, and be as prepared as possible to help keep their children healthy.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the March of Dimes, Dr. Kathy Bligard and Susie Voss. Glamorous is the aspect of people scrolling and they stop on. But it's so much more important to be real and to put it out there. And I think that has changed. Don't you agree with that?
I do.
Good, because we needed that. And I think we look at everything that's happened in the last 5 to 6 years. Suddenly the whole mental health aspect started to be talked about. Women coming forward saying this, people stopping on that. The tears that were flowing of, this is what I've been through. And then suddenly women don't feel alone because they need the support system. They need the community around them to say, I've been through this. What have you been through? And there's support and there's help out there. So Susie, talk about what the March of Dimes is able to do when these horrific things happen, or the preventable aspect of it. A lot of it is means. Do people have the means? Do they have insurance? Do they have the care? And depending on different populations and cultures, they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Our 3 biggest pillars are research, advocacy, and then providing the resources when something happens. So on the research end, we invest over $5 million every single year into life-changing research. We have prematurity research centers that are researching, preventions and therapies and interventions and what we can do to prevent the insurmountable amount of things that we can try to do to improve the health of babies. And then the advocacy piece. So, any piece of legislature that is supporting families, is supporting there was a recent maternal mortality review, and making sure that there's adequate mortality review so that when something does happen, we can learn from that case, and we can take what happened to that woman and make sure it doesn't happen again, and try to, insert as much prevention as we can. And then there's the resources piece. So that's one of our pinnacle programs is the NICU Family Support Program, where we are inside the NICU and we're providing support for the family. So when you think about, if someone is enduring a NICU stay, the baby has all sorts of support. It's got nurses and doctors, and a lot of those healthcare providers are still supporting the parents. But our program with NICU Family Support, they're really there just to support the families on a mental and emotional level, which is really incredible. So those are just some of our, real pinnacle things that we try to focus our time and efforts and funds on.
So I was talking about from a statistic standpoint, and one of the things that we always want to hear is that as people donate, and we have a great event coming up, by the way, in September that we're going to talk about, as they go to events like this and they say, are we making a difference? Can you both give us, if we look decades ago, 5 years ago to today, how this is actually helping? Because as they give their money, they want to hear, so babies are being born, and then a couple months, like I said, a couple months later, what's happening? They're dying. Or what's happening happening to the mothers during pregnancy, or they're, premature and they're not healthy. What are we doing in our research that's actually helping? That's what they want to hear.
I was going to say on the March of Dimes side, we're very proud of the fact that 80 cents of every single dollar goes into that research, advocacy, and resources. And then on a historical lens, March of Dimes has been behind so many incredible life-changing interventions and therapies. So it started with the very beginning of our organization with the polio vaccine, and March of Dimes was the pinnacle researchers behind the creation of the polio vaccine. And then from that, came the marketing and the research behind folic acid to prevent birth defects and the onset of, now it's very commonplace that almost every single woman is taking a prenatal vitamin. Also the APGAR score. So we were the primary researchers behind the APGAR score, which is the score that a baby is given upon birth, seeing how well they're adjusting to life outside the womb, seeing if they need intervention or therapy. And then, the other one would be the mandatory heel prick newborn screening that happens in every state, and it tests for over 200 different abnormalities.
And so again, Dr. Bligard, Susie Voss and Dr. Kathy Bligard, in talking about March of Dimes today. As a physician, what are you most excited that you've seen in the 11 years that you've been in? Because you've been able to see the research and how it's helping you.
Yeah, so I think the most exciting things that I've seen in my time as a physician have really been focused on kind of treating in utero conditions, and it's my passion, it's what I do. But we've been able to, in the last 5 years, take babies who otherwise wouldn't have survived after delivery because their kidneys don't work, and so they don't have amniotic fluid to breathe in and out. If we can replace that fluid with saline, salt water in the uterus, we've been able to have those babies' lungs work when they're born. And then obviously they still don't have kidneys that work, so need dialysis, but these are babies that would have died otherwise, that now are surviving to go home with medical needs, but surviving to go home with their families. And that I was able to participate in one of the landmark trials that showed that that's beneficial in the appropriate scenario. And it's really exciting to see that work and then what's going to come next.
Well, you gave me a chill when you said that, because if I think, again, we keep going back decades ago, and then you look at the evolution of medicine and where we are today, and then you can talk to your grandmothers, you could talk to even your moms or your aunts, and you hear these stories where we didn't have this back then. And that is the beauty of fundraising. That is the beauty of donating so that we can further this, that here we go 5 years from now, 10 years from now, your parents, as she's getting ready to have this sweet little baby, they will be able to go, oh my gosh, 20 years from now, look where we were and look how far we've come. And you, all of you, first of all, thank you for what you do, but all of you in the medical field have to day in and day out go, oh my gosh, look at this breakthrough. Look what we're able to do now. Where in the past, when a baby was born and people get frightened, it's now education. And you just mentioned when they are going home, there's still things that they have to do, but it's the education of what do we do with this? Yes. We don't know what we don't know. But then you have the education and then the counseling and the community support, I think, is also very big in that, which is so needed. Again, so the March of Dimes. I just mentioned earlier that there's an event coming up, which is really, really exciting. It's called the Signature Chefs. This has been going on for how many years, Susie?
Over 30.
30? I was going to say, I remember you and I talking about, okay, so yeah, it's on the screen right now for you. It is coming up on Wednesday, September 30th. And this is not one of those that you want to wait on and think, oh, maybe I'll wait till August or maybe the beginning of September and maybe I'll get tickets. This sells out quick.
Yes, it does. We have some amazing supporters. It's an incredible gala. We partner with a bunch of local chefs. So last year we had 17 different local chefs that come out. Everyone provides a small bite. It's a very delicious, very fun, very foodie-centric event. But it's around our core, which is, again, raising that awareness and raising those funds in order to improve the health of moms and babies. And like we said earlier, we'll be honoring Dr. Bligard and all of the amazing work that she does, and that Washi was able to provide our community at that gala.
Absolutely. And again, this will be at the Ritz-Carlton, and great food, but it's all for the cause, right? So we love to go to these events and get all dressed up. It's semi-formal, by the way, have a wonderful time. But in the end, it's that feel good of, oh my gosh, look at the amount of money that's been raised. Over the years that you've been holding this, do you have any idea how much money's been raised in 30 years?
As a total, no, but I am really proud to say last year our goal was about 200,000 and we well surpassed that and raised 445,000 in the room. And so this year our goal is 500,000.
I was just going to say, you better go to 500.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations. So again, there are some individual tickets, but mostly people from a corporate sponsor standpoint, they like to get those sponsored tables. So I'm sure some of those have already been chumped up.
Yes.
As far as the sponsors, are there certain levels that are already taken off the table?
Well, we have two amazing signature sponsors this year, and there are two co-chairs. So Brinkman Constructors
Hey, Bob.
and Gatewood Wealth Management. So we're very excited to have them be our signature sponsors. But other than that, yes, absolutely. We've got lots of other amazing levels and just really amazing community leaders that are going to be in the room and all contributing to that. And WashU is a big supporter too.
Absolutely. So if you have been, you know how great it is. If you haven't, and I hadn't, and I want to thank our friends over at Sline Brothers. They're a big supporter of our show. They are actually the ones. Thank you, Mary Beth, for introducing me to Susie, who then introduced me to Dr. Bligard. And then we're going to be introducing you to a woman who also has a story to tell about from personal standpoint of what she's been through. She happens to be a member up here at Adventure Unknown, where our studios are. So Christina Shockley will be coming in with us here shortly. So as far as her being honored, tell me how she was chosen and what happens when she gets this that night.
Well, she was chosen for her amazing work that she does, obviously for moms and babies. And we worked closely with WashU to kind of identify someone. And it was Dr. Jeannie Kelly who introduced Kathy to me. And, you know, just some of the descriptors she had used was, you know, she's just one of the youngest, most amazing fetal surgeons. We really want to highlight all the amazing work that she's doing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're one of the only surgeons that does a lot of the laparoscopic surgeries that you do, correct?
Yeah, so WashU is one of the very few centers across the country and the world that does some of the kind of more complex fetal surgeries, particularly kind of what you're speaking to is fetoscopic repair of spina bifida. So we already kind of talked about how folic acid can help prevent spina bifida, but even when it does occur, despite folic acid or because someone doesn't know about the importance of folic acid, we can actually repair a baby's spina bifida, which is an opening in their spine, while the fetus is still in the mom's uterus, using tiny cameras placed inside the uterus so that we can see and do that surgery while minimizing the risks for pregnancy complications by just using those teeny tiny incisions.
And again, this is the fascinating aspect of where your money goes, because we didn't have this years ago. It's mind-blowing of where medicine is, and for that matter, where it is going to go. So again, the March of Dimes is what we're talking about this morning, the organization itself. And again, Susie was like, Monica, most people probably say, oh, something to do with polio. But then, can you answer any more after that? Hopefully today you can. What is the greatest thing, Dr. Bligard, that you hear and teach women when they get that beautiful announcement that they are pregnant and then feeling, I mean, you'll remember from baby one to now 3 of, okay, this is exciting, but I am so lost. And what am I supposed to do? And you lean on a support of the medical community, your friends, et cetera. What do you think is the greatest education you can give to mom from that announcement to pregnancy?
Yeah, I think the best advice I can give to pregnant women is to feel empowered to ask questions, right? You've already highlighted how important it is to be educated on what to expect, whether it's a normally progressing pregnancy or a high-risk pregnancy. Like, you should feel comfortable asking your medical team whatever questions you have. There are no silly questions, right? It may be something that I, learned a long time ago, but if you're not an OBGYN, why would you know those things?
Exactly.
And so I think that having that kind of relationship and just putting it out there saying, what do I do about this? Is this normal? Like, all of those things are okay, and you should definitely be doing that to make sure that you are as empowered to care for yourself in your pregnancy.
Yeah, we've heard that all throughout life, right? Even though for some reason at some point someone always felt like, I don't want to raise my hand, I don't want to ask the question, I don't want to look stupid. But if you just use the word empowered, if we are armed with the right information, there's so much greater things that we can do together. So ask,
Yes.
ask away. And by the way, and I'm sure Dr. Bligard would agree with this, if you don't feel like that physician or that medical team is truly working in your corner, then find someone that will. You can see your passion. And by the way, I love the fact that Susie was like one of the younger. When you said 11 years, I'm like, were you in grade school?
Well, thank you.
Susie, let's go to you from the March of Dimes aspect. You gave me a lot of wonderful paperwork, and I looked through this and was looking at different statistics. And I look at this, and I'm going to show it on the screen. Do you see this letter? This is something, by the way, that kids would never want to get. It says D. We want A's and B's, but the preterm birth rate in Missouri was 11%. This is in 2024, the same as the rate in 2023. So the preterm birth grade is D?
Yes, we're slightly above the U.S. average, which we don't like to see. A lot of the things that we see from an organizational perspective is a lack of access to resources and then health disparity issues. So not every single woman is treated the same, whether or not it's the color of her skin or her wealth or her status, geography. And so we really want to eliminate those health disparity issues. We want to bridge that health equity gap, and we want to increase access to care.
Yeah, and we were talking about that actually at the beginning when I was mentioning it. We think about, and you would never, ever, ever want someone to go, oh, well, I don't have the means, or I'm this color, or I'm this culture. It doesn't matter. We just want health across the board,
Absolutely.
right? But we're looking at, here's some data, by the way, that illustrates the differences in preterm birth rates by race, ethnicity, and insurance type, which may reflect broader social and economic factors. So the preterm birth rate by maternal race ethnicity for 2022 to 2024, Asian is 9.4, Hispanic 9.9, white 10.4, Pacific Islander 11.4, American Indian or Alaska Native is 12.9, and then the Black community 15.7. The preterm birth rate by insurance type, which I think is really interesting that we break it down. Other is 7.4, private health insurance 10.4, then Medicaid 12.6. So we're looking at some of these statistics, and I do want to go into, because I think a lot of times we hear about the African American community, but there's a lot of information in here about Pacific Islander and what is or what is not available to them, and we need to change that, do we not?
Mm-hmm. We do, absolutely.
So again, that's what the March of Dimes does. So we want to see these reports. I want to see you come back, and I want that to be a A plus,
Yes,
plus, plus.
I do
right?
too.
Yeah. So
That is the goal.
absolutely. So Dr. Bligard, before we bring Christina in, and she's going to tell her story, by the way, what do you see that you can give us some excitement that is maybe now or on the horizon of what you're hearing in more advancements in medicine?
Yeah, I think that, to your point about the preterm birth rates, my passions are in fetal diagnosis, but I have partners and colleagues who study preterm birth, and it is such a huge impact. I mean, 11% of pregnancies are born preterm, and that's 1 in 10, more than 1 in 10. And those babies have more needs. Those moms may have medical reasons that they needed that preterm birth. And the research that's being done in that world is really exciting. Things about trying to prevent or treat preeclampsia when it happens. Things like trying to stop spontaneous preterm delivery. We know the cervix plays a huge role in that and the uterine contractions, but trying to understand how they work together leading to preterm birth, we just don't know as a medical community. And so, the funding from the March of Dimes and the research they do about preterm birth is really exciting. And I am very optimistic that in that 20-year mark, we'll say, hey, can you believe that we didn't know this 20 years ago? Can you believe that we didn't know how to prevent preterm birth? So I am crossing all my fingers and toes that research continues to advance the field, but it's really exciting right now.
Her fingers and toes, and you just said that, and of course my mind goes right to the little baby's toes. There's nothing better, right? It's all those pictures that we love of the cute little babies. And then to you, Susie, what are you most excited? You've been with the March of Dimes for how long now?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So same situation, right? You look at where just a couple years ago or at the inception of the March of Dimes of how much money has been raised, how much education and awareness is out there, and what has grown. What are you most excited about that's on the horizon by what we're seeing by the community coming together?
Yeah, we actually just started a clinical trial at one of our prematurity research centers. We're studying the woman's microbiome, and we've identified that there could be a strand of bacteria that women might be carrying that could indicate a preterm birth. And so they have developed a probiotic to counter that strand of bacteria. And they've developed a mouthwash, as simple as a mouthwash that women could do twice a day to introduce that good bacteria into their microbiome. And if it all goes as planned and everything is going really, really well, it could cure 40% of the preterm birth cases. So that's what we mean by that preventable preterm birth. Like if we can identify some of these things and we can see that it is preventable, then we can develop these amazing therapies. So that's a clinical trial that's happening right now, and we're very excited about it.
A mouthwash. I mean, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yes, these trials are so beneficial. I mean, I've talked to so many people over my 30-year career that have discussed, hey, my husband or my wife or my child was in this trial, maybe one of the very first, and look what's come of it, and then it becomes a norm of medicine, right? And by the way, we are so blessed of WashU, SLU, Barnes. We have some of the best physicians in the country right here in St. Louis, by the way, folks. We are very, very lucky. Well, one more time, congratulations on being the hero this year.
Thank you.
I'm excited. September 30th, by the way, you can be there. So join your community, either the individual tickets, which I think are $300.
Yes.
Yes. And then more so, it's these table sponsorships and then sponsorship levels for the Signature Chefs series. And I love, by the way, the chefs that have been involved in the restaurants that have been involved every year. Annie Guns and Lou Rook are
Yes.
awesome. We love Lou. He's been on the show many times as well. So there's some of the people that you're seeing. Some are returning, some maybe brand new. I sent out a ton of emails for you, Susie, by the
I'm
way, and
excited.
said, we want you. We want you to be involved. Oh, yeah, Jack Mack, come on. We love Jack Mack. Thank you also. Casa Don Alfonso, who's been on the show. So actually, Mary Beth from Slyman Brothers said, Monica, it's like almost every one of the chefs you have, they're part of this. So thank you to all of those that have been a part. Those of you that are joining this year, you're going to have a great time with this. Again, September 30th, and we put the information on the screen of how you can get involved. Okay, so how do you know Christina, by the way? Just through her story?
So I was introduced to Christina through our chair last year, Samantha Cook. And so she is the CFO of Brinkman Constructors. And so she is co-chairing this year. And we brought on Christina as our co-chair for this year. So Christina will co-chair and be part of our leadership team for this amazing event. And she's done an awesome job. Just, you know, it's all about just meeting more members of the community. We need to spread awareness. We need to share more about what March of Dimes does, and we need to invite people to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And then Susie was like, Monica, do you know Christina? I'm like, well, I've seen her picture here. She's actually part of us at Adventure Unknown. We're going to bring her in and tell you more about her own story, which is going back to the fact that we need more women to tell their stories so that we can go, oh my gosh, I've known that person. Had no idea this is what they went through. It's important to have that sisterhood together. Dr. Bligard, thank you for all you're doing.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Susie's going to stick around with us, and we're going to bring Christina in so she can tell her story. Again, the March of Dimes and the incredible work they do, thanks to you as well in the donation that you do. So don't go anywhere. More with Susie and Christina when we return.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep Hydrotherapy right in your backyard. No commute, no appointments, just warmth, relief whenever you need it. Sore muscles recover faster, tight joints loosen up, tension you carry all day, gone. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
And welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. You've been seeing always across the screen. Be sure to pay attention to all the notes that you see on the crawl. And that is to thank each and every person that's had a role in this show for the last 3.5 years, including Garden View Care Centers. You know, I was just talking to my mom. We had her over this past weekend, and we were reminiscing about her care after she broke her femur. Just a scary time. And then when you turn that care over to someone, you hope that they treat your loved one as if it was their own. Boy, did they. Look at all those smiling faces. The activities is what we just had a chance to feature. They just went to Jazz at the Bistro. They talk about going to the Cardinal game or getting their nails done, playing some card games. Again, they are loved, and they fill that mental, physical, spiritual side. Garden View Care Centers, by the way, if you haven't taken a tour, there are 3 locations. One of those in O'Fallon, Missouri. One's in Doherty Ferry, and then the other is in Chesterfield. Check them out on social media as well, and then online, gardenviewcares.com. Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your your host. And again, we've been talking about the March of Dimes, healthy moms, healthy babies. Susie Voss is staying with us. Dr. Kathy Bligard, thank you so much. Safe driving, by the way. Now we're going to bring in Christina Shockley, who I mentioned I see around the club, and now we get a chance to finally visit. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Fantastic. So Christina has been involved in wealth advisory. She's a lawyer, but she also is a mom of not one, but 2 sets of twins. What?
Yes.
How old are they now?
6 and 3.
Holy cow. Okay, that's a lot. And she looks incredible, by the way, right? You're like, okay, 1 set of twins, but 2 sets of twins. But that's a blessing.
It is.
That is an incredible blessing. I will tell you this, you don't know this about me, but I always was like, if I had a child, I would want to have twins. People always thought I was nuts to say that.
I concur.
Yeah, I concur. So when you find out that you're having twins, what goes through your mind?
What the heck? There might have been another word, but we're on air.
And then you find out you're having twins again.
Yes.
I mean, you and your husband both. What do you say at that point?
Well, and it's 4 girls.
A lot of estrogen in that house. What is your husband's name?
Kyle.
Kyle, right? Sorry, Kyle. Do you have any animals?
No.
I was going to say, at least is there a boy dog in the house?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, bless you, by the way. But those are blessings. And, Susie and I were talking about March of Dimes and how the March of Dimes helps so many women. Many times they don't feel like they know what the March of Dimes does for them.
Yes.
So how has the March of Dimes helped you?
Yeah. Well, Monica, I have a funny story about that. So I actually attended the Signature Chefs event last year as a guest. Well, what happened after the event is when I sat down with Susie and Sam, who was the chair of last year's event, I actually didn't know how March of Dimes had impacted me at that time. And even after, I remember Googling the March of Dimes and thinking all of the things that might have related back to me. And as I sat with Susie, it was so funny, as they were asking me to co-chair this event, she said the same thing. It was, they've been with you the entire way. Anywhere from your prenatal vitamin that you're taking before, you obviously conceive sometimes, and then through your pregnancy to during pregnancy, trying to prevent preterm birth, to, in my situation, having a preterm birth at 36, having a NICU stay, having all of the research that supports what happens in that situation. To not only then, in my situation after my first pregnancy, I not only hemorrhaged a significant amount, which March of Dimes does a ton of research to help support, but I had a pregnancy cancer. So it was called choriocarcinoma, and by the time that I was diagnosed, I was already stage 4.
Wow.
And that was only because I had access to the right care in that aspect. And that's why they found it. And then to all of the postpartum support and research that March of Dimes does. And then to the second pregnancy, same thing, hemorrhaging, postpartum complications. The entire health of my twins, both times I delivered, March of Dimes can support a ton of research and access to care that a lot of other moms might not have had access to.
And I'm glad that Christina's bringing this up because so many of us are going through the motions. You get it. And again, Susie is just days away from having her 3rd child, which, by the way, I saw Rose's comment earlier and she was like, I know this is the Real Monica Adams Show and I'm always complimenting Monica. And she's like, but I got to say that you look amazing, right?
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Do you feel like the baby's coming tomorrow?
I don't feel like the baby's coming tomorrow, but I feel like the baby is definitely coming soon. So.
Well, it can't come now because now Dr. Kathy Bligard's out of the studio.
Yes.
She was like, I'm here, I can deliver. Not anymore. Christina, and you might have to jump in with the cake. She's like, no. But this is so true what Christina just said, Susie, is that I don't think moms, dads, families truly understand the magnitude of the March of Dimes.
Yes, and being a national nonprofit, I mean, we just have access to so many resources, so much research funding, so many incredible doctors like Dr. Bligard, and it's really incredible. And Christina's right. So if you've taken a prenatal vitamin, you've been touched by the March of Dimes. When your baby is born, the APGAR score that they're given upon birth, seeing how they're adjusting to life outside the womb, that was research funded by the March of Dimes and a researcher with the March of Dimes who created that. The heel prick that a newborn receives, that in tests for over 200 different abnormalities. A lot of times, for example, it's the first signal of cystic fibrosis, and the fact that, you might need continued testing to get another diagnosis with that. March of Dimes is behind all of that. preterm birth research, if you've had a NICU stay. So anything from, we've touched healthy pregnancies to those with complications. March of Dimes is behind it all.
And obviously, every woman wants to hear that they have a healthy pregnancy. They want to be able to go through it. They want to be healthy. They want the child to be healthy. But as we know, that's not always the case. And so that's when these amazing physicians, all of those on the front line, swoop in. But it's because, as we keep stressing, all of you that help to fund the research that they continue to do. So when you go through this, I mean, that's scary. Both times it's scary. And when you hear of multiple births, that in itself can be scary, right? You're just like, again, I'm saying you want to have a healthy baby, but she's got babies times two. And then all of you that have had triplets and quintuplets and all of that, I just can't even wrap my brain around. And you want it to be joyous. But your mind, I mean, we talk about mental, physical, spiritual health. You went through a bevy of emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that the tumor marker that I had for the cancer that I was diagnosed with, which is called choriocarcinoma, it was HCG. So it was the pregnancy hormone.
Yeah.
So the only reason it was detected was because my doctor sent my placenta for testing, which is all about care and having excellent providers. And had she not done that, it might have spread to my brain.
Right.
Which means I might not have been here today.
Absolutely. And you said stage 4? Holy cow. So what did you all have to go through during that?
I had to go through 3 months of chemotherapy.
3 months.
The good thing is I had the good type of cancer, which means that it was fast spreading. But because it was caught, it was very receptive to treatment.
And that was how long ago?
It was 6 years.
6 years
Actually,
ago?
6 years in June.
Unbelievable, right? Miracle right here. When we talk about these, we could have put you on a Testament Tuesday because this is her true testament to the aspect of how far along medicine has come. I mean, again, you mentioned earlier, Susie, that we could go all the way back and people say March of Dimes polio. Oh, okay, let's go back to the early 1900s, okay? No, folks, we're talking about where we are now and where we're going. I mean, again, that's the other part that as people donate and they give and they go to this Signature Chefs event, they say, well, what's on the horizon? We'd love to know that.
So we donate over $5 million a year into our research. We also have an innovation fund where we like to invest in companies that are doing, life-changing new therapies, experimental therapies. For example, there's this doctor who is creating a synthetic membrane, if you will, if there's a premature rupture of a woman's bag of waters, her water breaks too early. And you think of all the medical advancements in the world, right now there's absolutely no cure for if a woman's bag of waters breaks early. And so one of our innovation fund companies that we've invested in is researching kind of a synthetic membrane to help hopefully become that cure and become that therapy. So between the research and the innovation, that's what we have to look forward to, is all of the incredible things that can come out of that.
And I heard you, Christina, when you first walked in, you were like, ooh, I love that recent study. I love these aspects of research. I mean, again, a mom now of 4 girls, right? 2 sets of twins. Are you wanting any more?
No, I think we're done.
She'd evidently have more twins. Yeah. But you hear this and you get a chance to pass that along to your friends and your family of, they helped me, and then can you imagine, here's the latest trial that's out there.
Yeah.
And again, it's remarkable to know where we are, and I mean, again, where we're constantly going, because medicine is changing. Like every second that we're on right now, you imagine what's happening. So for all of your friends and family that have watched you go through this, I mean, again, scary times, but joyous occasions as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I have 4 healthy girls that will all hopefully be moms in the future. So that's the one thing I love about this organization and about the charity is the impact, because literally every single person in the room has been born.
Yes.
And has a mom.
Right.
And that impact stretches across everyone and touches everyone, whether they know it or not, like me.
Do your daughters know what you went through?
Yes.
And what have they said about mom?
Well, I mean, it's hard for my 3-year-olds, but I would say my 6-year-olds, I mean, they look back at my pictures when I lost all my hair and when we were all wearing masks at that time because it was COVID. So, I mean, a lot of what we've done and a lot of what they know of that story was mommy was really sick right after we were born. And so it's a lot of education around what that means, and it's a lot about resilience, because they know what I went through in a really short period of time during one of the hardest periods of times of, premature newborn girl twins. They know what an amazing just survivor that means for me, but also them and my husband, who's a super dad. He's a superhero.
Well, I was just going to say what he had to go through, because again, when you first have that child and you think, okay, he's on paternal leave, you're on maternity leave. No, she had to go straight into the therapy and her chemo that she had to go through. And so your husband, and I'm sure other family members, had to swoop in to help you.
Oh, we have a village, and we are so thankful for that village. Today, we still use the village.
You should lean in on them. So, Susie, tell me, how did you pick Christina to be your co-chair for the Signature Chefs event?
Christina's a dream co-chair because, you know, she's such an amazing community leader. We always look for those who are really well established in the community, those who can help make some introductions, help us meet some new friends. But then like the mission component and the fact that you have been touched in such an integral way to our mission, it makes it very much a dream chair situation. You know, whenever someone can have that personal affiliation and that personal story that they can really draw on. It's just absolutely incredible.
Sure. And then Christina, you, for all those that are thinking of maybe getting a table, you're looking at corporate sponsorship or maybe individual tickets, you get a chance to speak firsthand. What did you love most about the event?
Oh, it's one of the most amazing events in St. Louis, by far. I mean, you walk around and you have the best chefs in St. Louis there, all together at the same time. And it's quality food, and it's just a fun night. I really have to say, like, there's live music after the fact. I mean, it's a party, it's fun, and you get to raise a lot of money for a really good cause.
And if you are just tuning in, and I know a lot of you tune in every second, you may have to rush off, again, with your kiddos. Who knows what's happening at the house right now? We get it. Come back to the show. Share this with your friends and followers so that this can continue to reach and reach and reach. So if you didn't hear earlier, you're wanting to raise $500,000, right?
$500,000.
That's all up to you, folks. That's how you play a part. So we're going to give you all the information of how you can get to the event and make a difference in this. Again, on your screen right now, Signature Chefs with the March of Dimes coming up on Wednesday, September 30th. So I know a lot of you are like, oh, it's not till September, I'll wait. Nope, these tickets will go fast. They're going fast already. So this isn't one that you want to wait on, because you will have FOMO when you look at Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and see all the pictures of everybody that went, and you're like, why didn't I pull the trigger? Yes, don't wait until next year. And it's a fun event. Christina, you get a chance to get all dressed up and get gussied up. Who doesn't love that?
Absolutely.
And as she said, eat good food. I mean, again, some of the best restaurants, and we have some amazing ones. If you didn't hear, by the way, Lauren Nollick just won the James Beard Award. She's been at the event in the past, has she not?
She has, in 2024.
Let's see how busy she is right now. I'm hoping that we can get her again. But some great ones. And again, we're a big fan of Chef Jack Mack. He has been one of our favorites on the show. Lou Rook, who was just on the show recently with Annie Guns. Many more to come. And chefs, by the way, or restaurant owners, Susie, you still have some room for other ones. So if they want to get involved, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
The best way would be if they go to the event website. My contact information is all over it. So, and my team's contact information too. So they can reach out to us on there.
And so explain to them how it all works. If they are a restaurant or they are a chef and they do want to get involved with you, what do they need to do?
So they just need to express some interest. What we ask of our chefs is a small bite for 450 people. So that's the tasting part of the event. Everyone gets to walk around the room and just taste an amazing small bite from each of our chefs. It doesn't even necessarily have to be like the executive chef, if there's a sous chef that wants to participate. And then we do a lot of marketing on behalf of those restaurants in exchange for it. And then we try to recognize our chefs as much as we can in the room. So
yeah, and then also if someone is wanting to donate items you have a silent and a live auction?
We have a live auction.
Okay.
So, same deal. Just go to our website, find the contact information, because we would love to be in contact. We just secured a live auction of a 5-night stay in a 5-bedroom home in Breckenridge.
Oh.
So very excited about that. It'll be kind of like our featured travel package. But a lot of our chefs actually also donate, a private dining experience, an in-home dining experience, which is really cool and intimate. And so there's a wide variety of live auction packages.
Yeah, and so you all know that I am a big fan of galas. I love doing charity events and emceeing and auctioneering. I'm always there going, oh, what can I buy? Because here's the deal. These are things you're going to do anyway. anniversaries, birthdays, just thank you to someone, or hosting items. You're getting ready to go over to somebody's house maybe for the summer, and you think of, well, hey, let me give to that organization instead of giving to the big box stores. That's my favorite thing of all. So when you go to these auctions, think about that, and then dig deep and understand that you're making a huge difference for the March of Dimes. Before we wrap up, tell me, what are you most proud of that the March of Dimes is providing to our world?
I think my biggest thing is access to care. I really do.
I love that. Mine is the research side. So this is going to be life-changing research. Even if it's not happening in our backyard here in St. Louis, it's happening somewhere else, and then it's just going to provide access to the entire world.
Yeah. And again, it's all about the aspect of health. We talk about health so much on this show, and we wanted to do this on a Medical Monday. We're looking at these precious babies, and I hope you all understand the blessings that they are, even when they give you trouble and you hear the crying and you hear the screaming, Mom, right? You wouldn't want it any other way, right, Christina?
Absolutely not.
She has mom.
I have 4 limbs for a reason.
If you had any more, you'd have to become like an octopus. You'd be like, how do I do all of this? Well, once again, Christina Shockley, Dr. Kathy Bligard, and Susie Voss have been our guests today on this Medical Monday. So remember what the March of Dimes is doing and give back to that. marchofdimes.org, this Signature Chefs event, again, coming up on September 30th. They are doing amazing work to keep you, moms, healthy, and the babies as well. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we're going to take a final break. I'm going to let you choose. We'll let Christina choose, actually. So we wrap up with a devotional. We do 100 Days to Freedom books, okay? So do you feel fear and anxiety? We need freedom from fear and anxiety, from shame, depression, anger, overeating, or we have 100 Days of Healing. Which one are you feeling?
Ooh, I feel like today we should do healing.
Healing. All right. That's a big one that's chosen on a regular basis. We're also going to talk about shopping, what women don't like shopping. We're going to tell you about a really cool place in Wildwood that we'll be doing a Mobile Monica live from on the 14th of July. And if you love resort clothes and just feeling like you're always on vacation, you're going to love what's coming up on July 21st. We'll tell you about all those when we return.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to talk to Monica about that. You know, you can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be, and people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else. And if you pick up just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
Welcome back. We are in the wrap-up of the show. Fantastic show. Right now, it's time for you to share this, and throughout the rest of the day and in the weeks to come. If you're looking for past shows, by the way, I had somebody else the other day say, that's why I can't find the show. Yes, Meta, unfortunately, in 30 days gets rid of shows. So that's why it's important for you to follow me on YouTube as well. The entire library of 800 plus shows, they're all on YouTube. There you go. Look at it at therealmonicaadams.com. That's our website, or just type in The Real Monica Adams for any social social media. Well, Christina picked healing today, and I think that's a good one. I also want to acknowledge all of you that watch us live, and thank you for that. Rose is the one that said, Susie, you look beautiful. I hope that baby holds off. Best to you. Yes, she's due in just about a week and a half. But Bab said, the more informed, the better. Thank you for providing this. Absolutely. And Sam Cook says, love this as well. If you have any questions or comments, by the way, for our guests, feel free to drop them in now. We'll make sure that Susie or Dr. Bligard or Christina have a chance to see those, and just thank them again for what they're doing. When anxiety threatens, okay, this is day 29 of 100 Days of Healing from Stephen Arterburn. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Imagine what Christina went through, and of course, there was fear and anxiety, maybe a little anger, maybe a little depression, maybe a little sadness, all of these tied together, but then you want the ultimate, which is the healing. Jesus told us in no uncertain terms that believers are not to worry, but the command seems laughable. How in the world are we to obey it? In Philippians, which Paul wrote from a jail cell, by the way, Christians are instructed to not be anxious, but instead to present our requests to God. And after we do, his supernatural peace will fill our minds and our hearts through Christ. As someone once said, the beginning of anxiety is the end of faith, and the beginning of true faith is the end of anxiety. That's not to say we'll never need help in order to leave our fears behind. Some people may require godly counseling or a doctor's help to gain victory over anxiety, especially if their struggle is debilitating. If that description fits your life, ask God to give you wisdom and lead you to people who can assist you in eventually leading a normal life. We're not meant to worry about everything all the time. The world rests on God's shoulders, so place your cares on him and rest in his grace. Max Lucado says, this much is sure. It's not God's will that you lead a life of perpetual anxiety. It's not his will that you face every day with dread and trepidation. Your prayer today, Savior, calm my anxious heart. Help me place my worries at your feet and not take them back. Amen. You feel that one?
I felt that one.
She felt it. All the feels. All right. Do you like to shop?
I do.
What woman doesn't, by the way? If you don't, we need you to come along with us. Okay, have you ever been to the Porch in Wildwood?
I have not.
Okay, look at your screen right now, because this is where I want all of you to come. If you can come with us live that day, that would be great. If not, head in before or after the show. This place is stunning. It's located again in Wildwood, and so if maybe you've got a piece at home that you want reupholstered. Maybe you just want the whole room design, or your home. Maybe you just got a brand new house and you just want to turn it all over to Jan Kaufman. She is a wonderful interior designer. Nicole Little and Jan, by the way, are going to come on our show next Tuesday on the 30th. They're going to give their testimony. So it's Testament Tuesday. And then we get a chance to go there. Literally everything for your home. They even have some beautiful jewelry there, which I cannot wait to show you. Great candles, which I'm going to debut one that I bought. That'll be coming next Tuesday that we'll show on set. You know that we always want to be the light in what could be a dark world. So we light those candles every day. The Porch. And where are they located? Here you go. On the screen, you can see theporchwildwood.com, located on Manchester Road in Wildwood. There, or on July 21st, in studio will be Monica Spittler, who owns Coconut Grove in Washington, Missouri. CoconutGBoutique.com. Okay, if you literally every day want to feel like you're on vacation, just go in the store. There are men who ask if they can just come in and sit down and have coffee and just sit there all day because they feel like they're on vacation. It looks like you're on vacation. They have women's clothes, men's clothes, and then they have really cool furniture as well. Washington, Missouri, you're doing great things. So Monica, I can't wait for you to be in studio with us, and we'll be highlighting everything that she's doing on July 21st. Christina was just telling us what she's overcome. Wait till you hear the story of what Monica, literally hit after hit after hit. It would make you think there's no way she'll ever have a smile on her face. And she does. She's got a beaming smile, but that woman has overcome a lot. So she's going to be coming in on the 21st. A lot of really cool things. Tomorrow, by the way, you know him. He walks around AU on a regular basis. Sean Estep, this is very heavy. What is this?
It's an
estate planning. Christina knows all about. I had no idea it was this much. Have you all done yours, by the way? I can't believe that Jim and I have put it off until now, and it is so very important. For all of those, one final comment that you can make. For those that keep putting it off, what would you tell them?
For estate planning?
Yes.
I've already used it.
Do it now, right?
Do it now.
Do it now. Don't put it off. Because, again, we all believe we have endless days here on earth. As you know, she's a miracle walking. You know my story about my miracle as well when I was 19. We don't have endless days, so make sure that your loved ones are taken care of and make sure that your estate is as well. We haven't never addressed this on the show before. It's important to do so. So Sean Estep with the Estep Law Firm will be my guest tomorrow morning. From now till then, again, remember your blessings. Know that you can be anything you want to be in this world, but the greatest be is kind. Be kind and God bless.
The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.